Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. My name is Naveen, and today we will be taking you through CAT 2024 preparation strategy. We'll be looking at arithmetic questions, tricks and tips. Excuse me. So we'll be looking at around 10 questions, and we will see how do we solve those questions. And all the questions are going to be from previous year CAT exams. Okay, so let's begin with the first question of the day. A box has 450 balls, each either white or black, there being as many metallic white balls as metallic black balls. If 40% of the white balls and the 50% of the black balls are metallic, then the number of non-metallic balls in the box is. So this question is based on ratios rather than percentage. So it definitely matters a lot as to which particular statement you begin with in a question. Maybe the question from where you need to start writing down the equation is not necessarily going to be the first statement itself. So you have to practice enough so that you get to know where should we start with, where should we begin with. So the first part is given as if 40% of the white balls and 50% of the black balls are metallic. So we can write 40% of white balls is same as 50% of black balls. And we are talking about metallic balls, right? From here, you will get 4W is equal to 5B, as in 4 times white is equal to 5 times black. This results in white being 5x and black being 4x. So this is how the variables, they interchange the values. They will take the value as the coefficient of the partner's term. So if we have white is equal to 5x and B is equal to 4x, so the total number of metallic balls, right, we are dealing with metallic balls here, is going to be 9x. And it is given in the question part that we have as many metallic white balls as metallic black balls, right? So what value of what value shall we take? Okay, it's not necessarily going to be a part of 450. It may be, it may not be. You can assume some other value such that W and B, they are going to be same, right? So since we know that they are equal, so from here we can say that the total number of balls is 9x, which is given as 450. So x will turn out to be 50, right? So if x is going to be 50, then the number of non-metallic white balls is something that we need to find out. If x is equal to 50, that means the total number of white balls is going to be 5 into 50, which is 250. Total number of black balls is going to be 4 into 50, which is going to be 200. Out of these 250 balls, we know that 40% of them, which is going to be 100, which are metallic in nature. Out of these 200, 50% of them, that is 100, they are going to be metallic black balls. So out of 450, if 200 are metallic balls, then obviously the leftover 250 is going to be non-metallic overall, right? So it's a theta question. It appeared in CAT exam 2 years ago. It was a slot 2 question. So the answer is going to be 250. You have to type in 250 using the keyboard, the online keyboard provided to you. Yeah, good afternoon, Harsh. Yes, Prakash. Practice makes us perfect. Second question. 3 years ago, slot 2 question. In May, John bought the same amount of rice and the same amount of wheat as he had bought in April. Same amount as in the quantities, say. But spent rupees 150 more due to the price increase of rice and wheat by 20% and 12% respectively. If John had spent rupees 450 on rice in April, then how much did he spend on wheat in May? So here we are dealing with 2 months. 1 month is April and the next month is obviously May. May comes after April. So we are talking about rice and wheat. So in the month of April, if you talk about the total quantity that he has bought, we can take it to be any number. So say, let's say he buys Q quantity, and in W also he buys. Let's take another variable. So let's say he bought X quantity of rice and Y quantity of wheat. In May month also he bought X and Y quantity. The price that he paid for X is going to be P1, and the price that he paid for wheat in April is, let's say, P2. Then in the month of May, the price of rice increases by 20%, so it becomes 1.2p. We are talking about okay, let's see if X and Y are equal or not. And in the month of May, the price of wheat increased by 12%, so it becomes 1.12 times of P2. Now, the question asked is if John had spent rupees 450 on rice, so X into P1 is given as 450. So here, the total amount that he has paid overall was, suppose, A, the amount. So this is April and May. So A amount, so that we don't confuse with A and A. In the month of May, he ends up spending 150 more, right? So here, if you look into it, you have got 5 variables, X, Y, P1, P2, and A, and we have only 2 equations to take care of. That means the statement that says same amount of rice and same amount of wheat, it has to do with the quantity being same. So X is going to be equal to Y. So this becomes Q, this becomes Q, this becomes Q, and this becomes Q. So the quantity is same for both rice and wheat, not in only in a month, but also in the next month. So here X changes to Q. Now, as per the question, we can say that Q times of P1 plus P2, taking bracket, if I add both of them, this is going to be A. And if I look at the month of May, this is going to be Q times of 1.2 P1 plus 1.12 times P2. This is given as A plus 150. Right? And we do know that Q into P1 is equal to 450. Now we have 3 variables, Q, P1, and P2, and we have 3 equations. So the question asked is how much did he spend on wheat in May? So we are asked to find out the value of this one. So there are going to be a lot of different ways of solving this. If I want to find out Q into P2, the easiest is going to be if I multiply this equation by 1.2. And if I subtract, what you will realize is Q times 1.2 P1 will cancel out, right? So if we subtract, we will have 1.2 times Q into P1. So it goes away. 1.2 times of P2 minus 1.12 times of P2 is going to be Q times 0.08 P2, and this will be 1.2A minus A, which is going to be 0.2A minus 150. Right? Okay. So we need Q into 1.12 P2. So for that, we would need the value of A. We did not use Q into P1 is equal to 450, right? तो एक काम करते हैं. Let's use that. If I put the value of Q into P1 is equal to 450 here, so we will have 450 plus Q times P2 is equal to A. If I write the same thing over here, this will become 1.2 times of Q into P1, which is 1.2 times of 450, plus 1.12 times of Q into P2. And this will result in A plus 150. Now, if we subtract, we will be able to get rid of A as well, which we were not able to before. So this is the value that we have minus this is the value that we are going to subtract, the LHS minus LHS, RHS minus RHS. So this is going to result in 90 plus 0.12 QP2, that is your LHS, and RHS will take care of A, and we'll be left with 150. So we will get P2 into Q is equal to 60 by 0.12. This will result in 500, right? Now, we are not asked what is P2 into Q. We are asked what is P2 into Q into 1.12. So we are now going to multiply this P2 into Q by 1.12. That means we have to multiply 500 also by 1.12, which is going to be 500 into 1 is 500 and 12 into 5 is 60. So we will have 560 as the answer. So basically a very straightforward question. Is just that you have to manipulate the equation so that you are able to solve it faster. Next question. Anil buys 12 toys and labels each with the same selling price. He sells 8 toys initially at a 20% discount on the labeled price. Then he sells the remaining 4 toys at an additional 25% on the discounted price. Thus, he gets a total of rupees 2112 and makes a 10% profit. With no discounts, his percentage of profit would have been. So we don't know what selling price. Let's rather say it's not selling price that he makes on the 12 toys. It's actually the mark price because he gives discount, right? So suppose the selling price is M to him, okay? And we have 12 toys, out of which 8 toys he sells at 0.8 times of M. Why 0.8 times of M? Because he gives 20% discount, and discount means you have to reduce something by 20%, which makes it 80% of the value. 80% is also written as 0.8 M. And then he sells the remaining 4 toys at an additional 25% discount. Now, additional 25% means 25% of 80%, which is 1/4 of 80, which will result in 0.6 times of M. This is the price at which he sells the remaining 4 toys. So this amount is a total of 2112. He gets a total of 2112, right? This is the first part. And he makes a 10% profit. So 10% profit would mean that if he buys 12 toys at, let's say, 12 at each one at C rupees, then the total price is 12C, and the 10% profit is going to be 2112, and this will give us a 1.1. So we will get the selling price, that is M, we will get the cost price, which is C, and from there we can calculate his percentage of profit had he not given any discount whatsoever, right? So what we can do here is this is 8 into 8, which is 6.4 plus 4 into 6, 2.4 M is equal to 2112. This will result in M is equal to 2112 divided by 8.8. Let's not solve this. Wait another thing. From here, if I talk about the cost price, this is going to be 2112 divided by 12 into 1.1. This is the cost price. So what would be the profit percentage? It's going to be total selling price. We don't have to multiply it by 12 and divided by total cost price. And what you will realize is this 2112 is irrelevant right now because this gets cancelled out. So we'll be left with 12 into 1.1 upon 8.8 and 11 into 8 is 8.8. Now 12 by 8 is going to be 3 by 2 further, and this becomes 1.5, and 1.5 is another way of saying 50% profit. Right? Okay. Next one. Amal invests rupees 12,000 at 8% interest compounded annually and rupees 10,000 at 6% interest compounded semi-annually, both investments being for 1 year. Bimal invests his money at 7.5% simple interest for 1 year. If Amal and Bimal get the same amount of interest, then the amount in rupees invested by Bimal is. So we are only talking about the amount of interest. So let's calculate Amal's. So his first principal is 12,000 and the rate of interest is 8%, and this is only for 1 year. So he will get 8% of 12,000, which is going to be 960 rupees, right? 12 into 8, 96, and common sense level 9600 nahi ho sakta, that will be a lot. So 960. Anyways, 10% is 1200, so 8% should be less than that. Next is he also invests another principal amount, which is 10,000 at 6% rate of interest, compounded semi-annually. So 6% he is going to get for 10,000, which is going to be 600 rupees. And then he is going to get 600 again, but then he will also get 6% of the first 600, which is going to be 60. So this turns out to be 1260. So the total interest that he gets is 2220. Next, Bimal invests certain principal and that is 7.5% simple interest for 1 year. So the principal is P and rate of interest is 7.5%. So the interest that he's supposed to get is going to be 7.5% of P. Since this is for 1 year, we will leave it as such. So this is going to be 2220, right? The interest from what Bimal gets is the same interest that Amal gets. Now, once we get this, hold on. Let's not put a line because that's going to be confusing. Now, we need to solve this. What should be the principal? Now, 7.5% or 75% is 3 by 4. So 7.5% is going to be 3 by 40 of P is going to be 2220. So from here, we will have P is equal to 2220 into 40 divided by 3. Now, 111 divided by 3 is 37. So 222 divided by 3 is going to be 74. So this will result in 740 into 40. Now, 74 into 4 is what we are supposed to do. 7 into 4 is 28 and 4 into 4 is 16. So that will result in 28, 280 plus 16, which is 296. And then do not forget these two zeros. So it's going to be 29,600. A very typical question that comes in CAT where you don't have to use a lot of common sense. You have to straight away use the equations that you have remembered, which is at hand. Yogesh, nahi, because it says compounded semi-annually. So 6% is already compounded semi-annually. You don't have to further decrease it. Had it been rupees 10,000 at 6% annually and it was compounded semi-annually, तो फिर आप उसको further 3% करते हैं. So I'll tell you the difference in the language. 10% per annum annually and 10% per annum semi-annually. So when they specify per annum, so these are the rate of interests per annum. In the case of annually, it will remain as 10%. In the case of semi-annually, it will change to 5% semi-annually. If per annum part is not written, तो ये automatically वही लेगा जो साथ में लिखा हुआ है. Okay, so you shouldn't reduce it. Okay. Next is the salaries of Ramesh, Ganesh, and Rajesh were in the ratio 6, 5, and 7 in 2010 and in the ratio 3, 4, 3 in 2015. So 5 years have elapsed. If the Ramesh's salary increased by 25% in this particular time, then the percentage increase in Rajesh's salary during this period is closest to. Okay, there are many ways to solve this. So if we talk about the year 2010, the salary of Ramesh, Ganesh, and Rajesh was 6x, 5x, and 7x. In 2015, their salaries are 3y, 4y, and 3y again. It is given that Ramesh's salary, so first one is Ramesh, next one is Rajesh, right? Okay. So Ramesh's salary increased by 25%. So we can say 3y by 6x is equal to 1.25. Or if you solve this, you will get 1 by 2 becomes 2 when it goes to the other side. So it becomes 2.5. So Rajesh's salary is going to be closest to. So we need to find out what is 7x upon 3y. In other words, what is 7 by 3 times x by y. Now, if you do remember that y by x is 2.5, so x by y is going to be 2.5 in the denominator. So this turns out to be 7 by 7.5. Acha, we need to find out the increase, right? So it should be 3y by 7x. I'm sorry. It should be 3y by 7x. That's what I'm saying. It was actually a decrease in his salary. So 3 by 7 times of y by x. Let's put the value of y by x as 2.5. So we get, excuse me, 7.5 by 7, which is an increase of 0.5 over 7, which is nothing but 1 by 14. And if you do know what 1 by 14 stands for, what percentage, you will be very quickly able to find out the correct option. 1 by 14 is 7.14285 percentage, right? So option A. Next question on pipes and cisterns. Two pipes A and B are attached to an empty water tank. Pipe A fills the tank while pipe B drains it. If pipe A is open at 2 p.m. and pipe B is open at 3 p.m., then the tank becomes full at 10 p.m. Instead, if pipe A is open at 2 p.m. and pipe B is open at 4 p.m., then the tank becomes full at 6 p.m. If pipe B is not opened at all, then the time in minutes taken to fill the tank is. So again, 2 years ago, this question came in. So the pipe that is filling it, right? Pipe A. So I'll be taking positive for it, and pipe B, I'll be taking negative for it. Okay. Now, what is the capacity of the tank? We don't know that. So capacity of the tank, suppose CA. Then pipe A is opened at 2 p.m., but the tank becomes full at 10 p.m. So can we say, looking at this statement, that pipe A was working for 8 hours? So pipe A must have filled this much of water. Okay. And pipe B is opened at 3 p.m. and it is also, it's obviously draining, but it's also associated with the container and it was working for 7 hours. So can we say it subtracted 7B amount of water? Here A and B, these are the efficiencies of the respective pipes. The same tank, pipe A is opened at 2 p.m. and we're talking about up to 6 p.m. same day. So can we say A was working for 4 hours and pipe B is opened at 4 p.m. and pipe B was only open for 2 hours. So it was about to remove, it was able to remove B into 2 amount of water. So if we look at this particular equation, we can say that 4A is equal to 5B, or we can say that the efficiency of A is 5 and the efficiency of B is 4. In other words, A fills 5 units every hour and B fills 4 units every hour. And if this is true, then A fills 40 liters, right? This part is 40 liters, while B removes 28 liters. That means the capacity of the tank is 12 liters, right? Now the question is, if pipe B is not opened at all, that means these 12 liters, if pipe A at the efficiency of 5 liters every hour was opened, for how long was it going to work? So this duration will turn out to be 12 by 5 hours, which if you solve is going to be 12 by 5 into 60, and this will result in minutes. Hours will go away. So 5 into 12 is 60, 12 into 12 is 144. So 144 minutes, which is a little over 2 hours. Not little over 2 hours, it's almost 2.5 hours, right? 150 minutes is 2.5 hours. Okay. Next question. Amar, Akbar and Anthony are working on a project. Again, a question on time and work. Working together, Amar and Akbar can complete a project in 1 year. Akbar and Anthony can complete in 16 months. And Anthony and Amar can complete in 2 years. If the person who is neither the fastest nor the slowest works alone, the time in months he will take to complete the project is. So we have to take unique letters for each of the 3 names because their initials are same. So for Amar I will take M, for Akbar I will take K, and for Anthony I will take N. So M, K, and N. So whatever is the amount of work, Amar and Akbar can complete the project in, let's convert this into months because one of the durations is months. So 1 year is 12 months. The same amount of work Akbar and Anthony were able to complete in 16 months, and the same amount of work Anthony and Amar were able to complete in 2 years, which is 24 months, right? So in order to solve this, you can see that we have 3 variables, M, N, and K, and sorry, 4 variables, M, N, K, and W, and we have only 3 equations. Equal to sign count karo, 3 ही है. So we have to improvise here. The improvisation is in such questions that you take the work as LCM of these numbers that you see. So the LCM of 12, 16, and 24 is going to be 48. So total work 48 है, हमने assume कर लिया. Everything is going to be based on this. Instead of 48, you can take any number of your choice. आप 1 ले लो, आप X ले लो, आप variable ही रहने दो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. But I have chosen a number because this will simplify my calculation. I will be able to see values in order to understand what is happening. Variable में हमें पता नहीं चल रहा होता. हम एक घोड़े की तरह बस हम solve करने में लगे रहते हैं, right? So if you look at this, we will get M plus K is equal to 4, K plus N is equal to 3, and N plus M is equal to 2. From here, we need to find out the values or efficiencies of each of these 3. What is the fastest way to solve such, cyclic equation? आप क्या करते हो? You add all of these. You will get 2 times of M plus K plus N. That will result in 9. Which means sum of M, K, and N is going to be 4.5. Now sum of M, K, N is going to be 4.5, out of which M plus K already is 4. So N की value 0.5 आ जाएगी. And the moment you get the value of N, you can figure out the value of the other 2 variables as well. If N is 0.5, K turns out to be 2.5, and M turns out to be 1.5. Question is, the person who is neither the fastest nor the slowest. So we are not talking about these 2, the people who have the highest and the lowest efficiencies. We're talking about the guy जो बीच में. Now, if Amar works at an efficiency of 1.5, तो 48 units cover करने में इसको कितना time लगेगा? So 48 is equal to 1.5 into duration. Duration will be 48 by 1.5. This is just for you to understand. Actually, आपको 48 is equal to 1.5 times of what पता करना है. If you solve this, you will realize the answer is going to be 32. 32 plus 32 ka half, 16 is 48. So the person who is neither the fastest nor the slowest will take 32 months, who is Amar. Right? Next question. A straight road connects points A and B. Car 1 travels from A to B and car 2 travels from B to A, both leaving at the same time. After meeting each other, they take 45 minutes and 20 minutes respectively to complete their journey. If car 1 travels at the speed of this, then the speed of car 2 is going to be how much? So, uh, there is a shortcut to this particular question, okay? That the speed by, let's say, car 1 upon speed of car 2 is going to be geometric mean of time taken by car 2 upon time taken by car 1 after they meet. Out of these four variables, हमें तीन के बारे में पहले से पता है. Speed of car 1 is 60, speed of car 2 we don't know, and second time is given as 20 minutes. So पहले simplify नहीं करते हैं, पूरा लिख लेते हैं. So this is given as 20 and this is given as 45. Now, under root 20 by 45, they both are divisible by 5. So we get 4 upon 9 ka square root, which gives us 2 upon 3. If you try to find out the value of S2, you will be getting 90 or 90. So this question can be solved within 30 seconds if you know the shortcut to such questions, which is very helpful. This is something we teach in the class very specifically कि ऐसे question में ये तीन formula use होते हैं. And if they change the language of the question, this is how you modify the equations. The proper solution is a lengthy one. You have to write down 4 equations and then you will have to divide them and then you will get this. Okay. Next, circular races. Two circular tracks of T1 and T2. So tracks T1 and T2 of radii 100 meters and 20 meters. Is it really 20 meters? या 200 होना चाहिए था. Normally ऐसा होता नहीं है ना कि इतना ज्यादा difference. चलो, let's assume there is no typo here. They touch at a point A. Starting from A at the same time, Ram and Rahim are walking on track T1 and track T2 at respective speeds of 15 and 5. The number of full rounds that Ram will make before he meets Rahim again for the first time is. So, this is a track of इसको मैं T1 ले लेता हूँ. And let's take another track, a smaller one, a shorter one, T2. ठीक है, T2 का हमें पता है. Now, these are the two people who start from here. One is Ram and another is Rahim. It doesn't matter in which direction they move. So, Ram walks on T1 track and Rahim moves on T2 track, right? And their speeds are given as 15 and 5. The number of full rounds that Ram will make before he meets Rahim again for the first time is. So, this can be solved in a lot of different ways. It's easier if we make both of them run on the same track. ठीक है, या तो राम को रहीम के ट्रैक पे दौड़ा लो या रहीम को राम के ट्रैक पे. So I'll prefer if Rahim moves over to the track of Ram because that's a larger value and it's easier to comprehend values there. So common sense, Rahim, if he runs at a track length of 20 meters, if his speed is 5 km per hour, if I convert this into a 100-meter track length, तो इसकी स्पीड इतनी ही रहनी चाहिए, बढ़नी चाहिए कि कम होनी चाहिए. Pure common sense. If it should remain same, it's 5. It should become larger, so we will say जितना times track बढ़ा है उतना times, not value wise. उतना times the speed should also increase and decrease accordingly. So in order to understand this, what we need to visualize is if Rahim is running around a small circular track this quick, तो अगर उसको बड़ा ट्रैक दे दे तब भी उसको उतने ही टाइम पे वापस पहुंचना चाहिए. So if I move a body into a larger orbit, if I don't want to discriminate, I should rather make the speed also increase if the track length has increased. So since the track length has become 5 times, I'll make this 5 times. So now the question changes that there is a single race track length and there are two people. One is Ram, who is running at the speed of 15 km per hour. Unit though doesn't matter. And then we have Rahim, whose speed is 25 km per hour. Right? The ratio of these two are 3 and 5. It means when Ram completes 3 rounds, Rahim will complete 5 rounds. Okay. Question is the number of full rounds that Ram will make before he meets Rahim again for the first time. So they have to meet at the starting point again. So Ram will have to make 3 rounds before he will meet Rahim. ये 3 और 5 का मतलब ये है कि Ram takes 3 rounds, Rahim takes 5 rounds, and they meet at starting point, this being the starting point. Why do we have to consider only starting point? Why not at other points on the track? क्योंकि actual figure doesn't contain one track. The actual figure contains that track. So इसमें अगर ये दोनों दौड़ेंगे, they will never meet on the track. They will meet at the starting point only, not any other point of the track. Right? So we changed Rahim's track length to that of Ram's track length and used the ratio to figure it out. We could have done the same thing with Ram. कि राम के ट्रैक लेंथ को ना 1/5 कर दो तो राम की स्पीड भी 1/5 हो जाती, but then we will have to look into that. So Ram's speed will become 1/5, it will become 3 and 5 अभी भी ratio है, it is not going to change. So when we are dealing with races, the ratio of the speeds, they do not change unless and until explicitly question में वो बोल रहे हैं कि उसने speed double कर दी, half कर दी वगैरह वगैरह. Okay, next question. Two persons are walking beside a railway track at respective speeds of 2 and 4 km per hour in the same direction. A train came from behind them and crossed them in 90 and 100 seconds respectively. The time in seconds taken by the train to cross an electric post is nearest to. So we need to find out the speed of the train. क्योंकि इसका जो formula होता है, this is given as length of the train upon speed of the train. If a moving body with a certain length wants to cross a point object, it's given as length of the body divided by its own speed. So we have a track. There is one person who is moving at the speed of 2. There is another person who is moving at the speed of 4. And please do remember, they are moving from the same point, right? It says beside, बाजू में है दोनों. And they're moving in the same direction. दोनों east जा रहे हैं. Then a train comes in, right? And cross them in 90 and 100 seconds. So if I consider the, obviously 90 seconds तो वो लेगा slower body को. So if I look at this, can we say that length of the train divided by speed of the train minus 2 is given as 90? And if I look at the second scenario, can we say length of the train divided by speed of the train minus 4 is going to give us 100? Right? So we have to find out L upon ST. So if we cross multiply, we will get L is equal to 90 ST minus 180. The second one is going to be L is equal to 100 ST minus 400. What we can do is should we get rid of 400 and 180? अब आगे solve करने का आपके ऊपर है. I can equate both of them, find out the value of ST, find out the value of L, put it back. Or what I can do is I can eliminate the constant here. 180 and 400 दोनों को हटा देते हैं. So for that 18 and 400 का multiple 36 होता है, right? So I'll multiply this by 20, so that this is 3600, and I multiply this by 9, so that this is also 3600, and now then I will subtract this. So I'll get 20L minus 9L, which will give me 11L. This is going to be 1800 minus 900, which is going to give me 900 ST. Right? I hope there is no calculation mistake here. So we will get L by ST is equal to 900 upon 11. Now please do remember 900 is in meters while 11 is in kilometer per hour. So we'll have to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, which is going to give us 5 by... Is there any mistake? Because option में simple नहीं लग रहा. Okay, fine. It says nearest to. So obviously we are not supposed to get the correct answer. Should we convert? No, 11 is already in terms of seconds, isn't it? 90 into ST is seconds only. So that is in seconds. This is already in seconds. We don't have to make any changes. So how many times is this going to be? So this is going to give us 82 seconds. Actually, it's going to be 82 point something. No, 81 point something, 81.88. So 82 is going to be the answer. So we don't have to convert anything. Please do remember this was already in seconds and this was already in meter. क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई करके सब्ट्रैक्ट कर रहे हो, एसटी अभी भी किलोमीटर पर आवर में है, सो नो चेंज रिक्वायर्ड. सो अ लिटिल you have to be a little careful while you are dealing with such questions. If I multiply this by 5 by 18, none of the options is going to match. It will become huge. Either it will become 3 times of 82 or it will become 1/3 of 82. Neither of those two are in the options. So kabhi kabhi dimensionally you will have to verify. नो योगेश, जरूरी नहीं है कन्वर्ट करने का. योगेश ऐसे समझो प्लीज, ठीक है. Okay, I'll write it over here. Suppose I'm given a kilometer per hour is equal to b meters into 3 seconds, and then I'm given, let's say, a plus 10 kilometer per hour is equal to b meters into 3 seconds, or not 3 seconds, let's say 8 seconds, ऐसा कुछ given. And if I am asked कि भाई a की value बताओ, so just because I have meter and seconds on the other side, ये divide कर लेते हैं, ठीक है, dimensionally, otherwise it will be wrong. So just because I have kilometer per hour on the left hand side and meter per second on the right hand side, should I actually convert it? You will realize I don't have to. Okay, I'll have to hide myself. I don't think ये दिख रहा होगा. I don't have to, because if I divide it, यार सारे units तो गए ना, तो मेरे को क्या करना है? I'll get a plus 10 upon a is equal to 8 by 3. Right? This will give me a is equal to 6. क्यों convert करूं? Similar thing is happening over here. L is in meters, 90 is in seconds, this is in kilometer per hour, the denominator, है ना? अब ध्यान देना, किलोमीटर पर आवर है, यहाँ किलोमीटर पर आवर. When I multiply it, my LHS remained meters, my RHS changed to kilometer per hour into seconds, right? This is meters, this is kilometer पर आवर इंटू सेकेंड्स, मैं यूनिट लिख रहा हूं बस। और जब मैं यहां पर मीटर्स लिख रहा हूं और ये किलोमीटर पर आवर वाली वैल्यू को मैं जब नीचे ले के आता हूं, तो यहां सेकेंड्स ही तो बचेगा। So I only will have to convert it if they had asked me how many minutes I take or how many hours I take. So I'll have to convert that unit of seconds, a unit of time, into some other unit. I hope that is clear. ठीक है, तो हर बार यूनिट कन्वर्शन का टेंशन नहीं लेना होता. It depends on the question, it depends on the values given. So yeah, so you guys can access our app for free for 3 days as a trial period. If you can download our app, the link is given in the description and in the chat, and you enter your mobile number. Also, everyone, please make sure that you like this video, and if any of your friends is also writing CAT 2024, make sure that you share it with them. And anyone who is targeting CAT 2023 and other MBA entrances, this is not just for CAT. CAT ab bahut nazdik hai, but you do have other exams. And CAT has become very important because IFT as well as TIS, both the colleges, they are taking CAT scores this year, right? So TISNET exam इस बार नहीं हो रहा और IFT exam नहीं हो रहा. So CAT important हो जाता है, and it will also bring in a little bit of fluctuation because people who were targeting TIS specifically now will get a decent percentile, thereby reducing the cutoffs. ठीक है, not by a huge margin. ऐसा नहीं कि TIS में हजारों बच्चे जाते हैं, but थोड़ा सा disturbance आएगा. And anyone who is getting right now a good percentile in marks may think that अब TISNET exam अलग से क्या लिखना, CAT के through है, so let's write TISNET also. ठीक है. Same will happen with IFT. So we provide you with more than 80 marks, 10,000 practice questions, topic-wise covering all subtopics, video solutions for each and every question. Meet our CAT 2022 toppers. Your photograph can be here next year. Okay. All you have to do is write our All India Open Mock NMAT 2023. It has already begun. It started day before yesterday. It will be there until day after tomorrow, and this is attemptable by anyone. So everyone should be writing this. It will help you with your D-Day strategy for NMAT exam. You will know, you will see where you stand as compared to other students pan-India. You will also get to know your strengths and weaknesses so that you work on them. Please do not forget to check out our social media handles and pages. Until next session, that's all from my side. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.